Hey, I'm Tracy. Welcome back to Auntie's Cakery. Can I just tell you, I love the color pink. I've done pink birthday cakes, I've done pink gender reveal cakes, I've done pink cookies and pink cupcakes. So I made a pink wedding cake and I'm going to show you how I did it. But before I do, I want you to take a look at this product I have right up here. They are very unique wedding toppers from the company called Berry Tree Lane. They come in male and female, each with 3 different skin tones. I'll tell you a little bit more about them at the end of my video. And now it's time to start the cake. I'm going to get my wheel going and make sure this cake board is centered. Then I'll stack and feel. Here I'm putting on a buttercream border and then filling it up with cream cheese icing. The cream cheese is a little softer than the buttercream, and if I didn't put a border, it would probably squeeze out. After I've got that all stacked and filled, I'm going to put a thin crumb coat of buttercream icing on it. Smooth it out with my bench scraper. And clean up that top edge. That was a 10-inch cake. I'll also do an 8-inch cake and a 6-inch cake. And this is just the final coat. Clear out that corner with my plastic mylar folder. Now this is something I've never done before, is using a mold to create that sequin texture. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I'm just smashing the fondant in there, smashing it really well so it gets all those details. Using my fondant smoother, I'll just smooth it out, especially along that cut edge. Then I stick it in the freezer for a few minutes and it will pop right out of the mold. To stick it onto the buttercream, I'm using a little piping gel. It's a little more sticky than water, but water will work. These are still chilled, so I'm just molding them right around the cake and gently sticking them on. Right along that edge, the mold is perfect and it matches up beautifully. Pinch that seam together and it's as if it's one large piece. Here I have a little extra, so I took 2 of the edges just to match up. So we only have one really definite seam line. Kind of cutting it crooked so it matches up a little bit. Take off the back piece. Squeeze it in there and push it together. That will be the back of the cake. I'm also piecing the top together and squeezing together that corner edge. I'm not too worried about this top piece because it's going to be covered by the other cake, but I want it there just so it's level with the rest of it. Now I'm going to airbrush some shine on it. I have some little test spot up there and I don't like how it covered up the pink. So with the pearl sheen, I added a little bit of color dust to make it pink. And I like that much better, so I sprayed the entire cake. Now for the top tier, I'm going to make the marble effect for the fondant. I've got white fondant, light pink fondant, and dark pink fondant, and I'll just mix those together, just lightly. And when I roll it out, it will have this beautiful marble effect. I'll just drape that over the cake, smooth it down, and cut off the excess. With my fondant smoothers, I will smooth out the edges and crisp up those corners. Now back to the 10-inch cake. I'm using this quilting mat just to mark the cake as a guide where I want to stick the ruffles. For the ruffles, I'm using my pasta machine to thin those out. I thin them out to a number 5. I'll just cut them a little shorter. And I'm cutting a 2-inch strip. On a piece of foam, I will make the ruffles. Just using my fondant roller, pushing down, wiggling it, makes a beautiful wide ruffle. With the water, I'm only wetting about a 1/2 inch. I don't want the ruffle edge sticking to the fondant. After I've got that nice and lined up, I'll stick a little roll of paper towel under it to flare that ruffle edge. And I will continue to do that all around the cake. Once I've got about 5 or 6 ruffles on, I can remove those paper towels and lay down that edge just a little bit. Do you see how those ruffles still flare out? That's the exact effect I was looking for. And before these edges get too stiff, I'll gently fold them under. It's a little easier to use my brush. Now for these last 2 strips, I've cut them a little bit wider, like 2.5 inches instead of 2 inches. I'm going to try to line them up to even those spaces out for the back of the cake. All those ends left a big clumpy lump at the top, so I'm taking a 6-inch cake board and cutting all those lumps off. After I've got the scraps removed, I will paste those ends down with a little bit of water. But I'll put the cake board back so it still creates an even surface for the 8-inch cake to sit on. Stack all the tiers together, and then I'll work on painting the ruffles. Just got a little white food color mixed with a little pink. I'm going to roughly paint the edges. I'm not trying to make it look perfect. For the tops here, I've just got a smaller brush and I'm brushing the edges right there. With the end of my paintbrush, I'm just pinching those sequins down a little bit to close the gap between the two tiers. Thanks so much for watching me decorate this beautiful cake. I just love how the pink marble turned out. Oh, the pink sequins too. But most of all, I love these ruffles. I love the diagonal. I love the little pink edge. So pretty. I am so grateful to Mary Tree Lane for sponsoring this video. Without sponsors, I wouldn't be able to produce the content I produce for you. So I am grateful for them and grateful for your support to my sponsors and to myself. You are wonderful, and I'm so excited to continue creating videos for you. So let me tell you a little bit about these and why I chose to feature them in my video. When I saw these for the first time, I thought, oh, those are so elegant. They come in a beautiful decorated box with a magnetic opening. They're cushioned really well so they arrive safe and sound. And it looks like it's made of wood, but it's more like a heavy resin. Really durable. It also comes with a little plexiglass plate. You'll set the plate on top of the cake and then the toppers on top of the plate. Say that 10 times fast. They're simple, but I love the emotion that's shared, especially the hands cupped together. There are different skin tones, so you can mix and match. You can also mix any sexual combination. And they work on so many different styles of cake. On your really elaborate ones, your medium ones, and the ever so popular rustic buttercream cake. Again, if you want to take a look, I do have a link down in the description box. Thank you again for all of your support and for watching me decorate this beautiful pink wedding cake. I will see you next time. Bye!